This is The Tea Project with your host, Gadiel and Michelle, a husband and wife duo where they will be discussing countless topics such as parenting and marriage, personal finance, managing a household, personal and professional development, and so much more. Gadiel is a father, husband, a military veteran, and a lawyer. Michelle is a mother, wife, boss, and above all, a productivity enthusiast. Each week, they will be providing you with fresh and valuable content, so stay tuned. And now, welcome to The Tea Project.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Money Talks on Tea Project.
Hi everybody.
Today we have an exciting episode. It's what you should be doing with your finances in a time of economic downturn, just like we are today. And my wife's making fun of me how I say economic downturn or quarantine or anything like that. Anyhow, folks, listen, we're going to give you some tips on what, and she can't stop giggling. We're going to give you some tips on what you should do with your money. What you should do with your money. Spend it on what? Hold it, spend it, invest. So let's just get to it. Michelle, you want to start us off here? You're on bat first. It's baseball talk. She's like, what is that?
No, I know what that is.
Okay, she knows a little bit of, a little or a lot about baseball.
Not a lot, but I can defend myself.
Okay. Well, I did say bat.
Okay, I know what bat is.
Well, you could have thought it was a cricket.
Really?
Croquet? What is it?
Crochet.
Crochet? Is that no crochet? Cricket. I think crochet is like knitting.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyhow, so.
All right, so
let's just jump into it.
All right, the first one, I think the first two are like maybe uber important.
Yeah.
It's funny, I just said Uber and it reminded me of your sister.
She would say Goober. Or did
no,
she say
Uber.
Oh, she said Uber?
She
said Uber before Uber
came out. Yeah.
Wow. Like a good 12, 13
So this is a shout out to Gloria.
Shout out to my sister. I'm gonna tell her. Say, hey, we shouted you out on the podcast.
Yeah. All right, so the first one is don't pull your mint account, like don't pull funds from there. Number one, I don't know if you've heard the saying you don't want to jump off of a roller coaster while you're going down. So you're going to have to ride the waves or whatever you want to call it.
The roller coaster. The analogy is that when you're going down the roller coaster, you're only down momentarily. You're going to go back up. Mm-hmm. So don't pull out your retirement funds because you're panicking. You're in panic mode.
This is where your funds are going into buying cheap, and then when the economy goes back up, you're gonna see your gains in there.
Right. So, plus, there's penalties too. When if you pull out, for example, if you have a 529 or any type of retirement plan, there's penalties. You'll have to pay. That's more cash.
So let that be your very, very last resort. Like in case of an emergency, after everything that we're about to talk about becomes no longer an option.
Right.
So number two is hoard cash.
That's probably one of the biggest ones. Mm-hmm. Hoard your cash. Now, why? Why should anybody hoard? Why? Why? What's so important about hoarding cash right now?
Really?
I'm trying to get you
Of course, you want to hoard cash because you don't know if you're going to have a job the day after tomorrow. If you already lost your job, you already need cash. You need to pay your four walls, like Dave Ramsey likes to call it.
Yeah.
Your roof, or your shelter, whatever. Your utilities,
water, light,
and your car.
Those are like the essentials, guys. You got to pay your essentials, and
you can probably get away with paying maybe utilities through credit card, but you're really gonna just need cash, and it just is. It's better that way than you. Right now, it's gonna be really hard for people because either if you have the credit, you're gonna you're gonna dig yourself into even more debt.
Right.
Or if you don't have credit, you're not gonna have anything.
Right.
So
hoard your cash, guys. Hold on to it. Like this may sound cliche, but cash is king. And right now, that couldn't be farther than the truth.
Well, then we also have the whole silver and gold thing going on too.
Yeah, and that's a
whole other topic.
That's a whole topic, but that's
then again now, all right, so hoarding cash, you guys probably by now already know that you will most likely, or for the majority of people, will get a stimulus check.
Right.
Probably, what is it, around April 16th.
Mm-hmm.
So if you'd like to hear more information on that, we actually did, our last episode was just on that, episode 14.
It was on the stimulus check. Yeah,
so that check, some people might actually go and use it to buy,
guys,
I don't know what, non-discretionary or discretionary items.
Expenses like electronics and gym equipment and gym clothes. Right now, guys, you need to hold on to that cash. One, because if you're not working, you need the cash.
Right, and if you don't have an emergency fund, this is your initial down payment for it.
Exactly. This is what you're hoarding the cash for. Yeah. Because the certain, you know what's interesting? I read a lot of, you and I are part of a lot of groups in Facebook, right? And I hear a lot of folks saying, but my job is secure, so I just need to continue on this debt paying regimen that I'm on.
And I think with that, you have to be very cautious.
But these folks are like, no. I got a job. I'm good.
Right, but you don't know though. So I think you kind of have to go based off of what you feel and kind of be, like you said before, you had said conservative. Super. So it's like you have to have a balance, being aggressive while not being too conservative. You need to be in the middle.
Be in the middle.
Moderate.
But I would say be more conservative, because I'll give this example. You would think that the most secure job at the moment is healthcare professionals.
But even healthcare professionals right now are being let go.
Let go. In some of the areas of the country, they're seeing no activity. They're being let go. And in the areas like New York that are seeing a lot of activity, well, because those hospitals are not seeing non-emergency patients. For example, if people are going in for chemotherapy, they're going in for different things, non-emergency, like ER stuff. They're not billing. They're not collecting revenue. They're not earning revenue. So what are they doing? They got to cut doctors' salaries. Furlough. They got to do furloughs, cut doctors' salaries, nurses, admin. So those jobs are not even secure, folks. So the folks that I see that are like, no, my job is secure. I mean, how do you know? Your local economy, where you work, could be hit next with the pandemic. And if you guys are like us, you live in Miami-Dade County, we have a stay-at-home order from the mayor of our county who says, here is a list of essential job functions. If you're not on this list, you are considered closed. Restaurants, salons, barbers, nails salons, all these not quote unquote non-essential are ordered closed. So if that's because our county's hit. So if you're living in this area where you think you're secure, I'm telling you, you better just think twice. Your county may be next. God forbid it's not, but if it is, you're not secure anymore. Your local economy is gonna get hit.
Right, but okay, so I agree with that, and that's why I said moderate. You know, you don't, if you're on your journey to pay your debt down, you still want to at least do minimum payment, and then based off, you know, what you're feeling, what you're hearing in your local community or whatever, then kind of start to gauge, okay, so then maybe I can make just a little bit extra payment on there, right, and then the other half I would put it to save. Or if you don't feel secure, just save it all together and just only make your minimum payment. Right. So, you know, just leave it at that. So to finish off the second one, the hoarding cash, you have, like I said, you have the stimulus package coming, you put that into an emergency fund. The other thing, and that kind of leads into number 3, which is call your non-mortgage debt accounts. So anything like your credit card, personal loans, student loans, auto loan. Now, I don't know if you've heard, with student loans, you have 0% from now till September 30th if they're backed up by the government. That should actually be looked at as, if I don't need to make a payment for my student loans, that doesn't mean that, that, hey, let me go and buy electronics, like you had said, the previous one.
TV
use that
stuff.
to pay yourself.
Right.
Use that to now bulk up your emergency fund.
Which should be how many months?
So if we're in April and
No, I'm saying emergency fund. How many months should you be safe? What's the
typically
general rule?
3 to 6 months is what you should
3 to 6 months, folks. If you can do a little more, maybe 6 to 8, do that.
Yeah.
So
now
go back to student loans you were mentioning. That, just to be clear, interest.
You will not be charged interest.
Not be charged interest, okay.
So it'll be whatever your principal is today. It'll be the same principal, assuming that you're not making any payments. It'll be the same principal as of September 30th.
Gotcha.
So you will just owe what you owe today on October 1st.
So these 5 months, instead of paying the principal, because you don't have to, you need
now,
to put that
some people are, if they feel secure in their position or in their jobs, or maybe they have enough in their emergency fund, then this is the perfect opportunity to give a good hit to your student loans or any debt that you have, because, actually, let me take that back, because that kind of leads me into, you calling your credit card companies, ask them if they can lower your interest rate, ask them if they can waive late fees, ask them if they can, anything that they can work with. Any assistance. Any assistance.
A lot of companies right now are giving assistance. They are saying, I'm going to give you an example, our auto loan. So me and Michelle have been super proactive.
What?
Oh, no, I'm thinking auto insurance. My bad. No.
So the other thing that you want to do, too, is maybe you can ask your credit card to extend your credit limit.
Right.
So that your utilization, and we talked about that one, too, in one of our episodes, that you want to maintain that under 30%. So in this whole process of this economic downturn, or any economic downturn for that matter, you want to make sure that you are sustaining your credit.
Absolutely.
So while you can, you know what I mean?
Right.
And obviously it's not as important as making sure that you have your shelter and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, but by calling the credit card companies, maybe you can ask them, hey, can you extend my credit limit further?
Right.
So that way, one, you have the funds for emergency. Two, you're not feeling, stuck.
Right.
That your balance is so high and your available credit is so low.
And 3, you're reducing, like you said, utilization rate. Well, it's a hard word for me. Utilization rate. You're reducing that, which helps you improve your credit score. But also, what we're talking about here was, you need to call each one, even credit card companies, to see if they'll lower your interest rate. I mean, this is the perfect time to really go in and say, listen, I can't pay it. Now, this is this is me right here. I'm going to tell you guys a secret. When you speak to these companies, don't sound like a victim, folks, but you got to help yourself. And if you're going to sell something to somebody work for you, you got to sell it, folks. Not saying a lie, folks, but sell it. You call this company, Amex or whatever, and you say, listen, I'm in a bad situation. I really need you guys to help me out. Don't be afraid. Don't be bashful. Don't be, dancing around. You need to go straight in there and you need to tell them, help me, because what I want to pay you, but you got to help me. And I'm giving you a secret. A lot of folks don't even do it. The greasy wheel, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Who would have thought that you were going to mess up a saying before me?
And usually I don't mess up saying, folks. My wife messes. When we started dating early on, she used to say,
beat around the bush.
Stop running around the bush. And I'm like, yo, it's beating around the bush. And she messes up the sayings, but here I am messing it up, folks. So it comes full circle. But you got to call each one. You got to pour your heart out. You got to say the coronavirus is affecting me, my family, my job, everything. Please help me. And you know what? I believe they will, man, as they helped us.
All right, so let's move on to 4. You want to talk about that one?
Number 4, absolutely. So number 4 is call your utilities. Is this utilities? Yes, call your utilities. For example, for us would be AT&T, USAA, our auto insurance carrier, ADT, our alarm system. You need to call each one and tell them exactly what I just told you to tell them, that you're affected by what's going on with the coronavirus. And like for us, man, we've been home for a few weeks now. School's closed. Nursing home, daycares are closed, so you can't even take your kids there. So we're stuck. We're stuck at home with the kids. So you call each one, you tell them your situation, and ask them: A, can you defer a payment, postpone? Can you reduce my payment?
Or freeze the account?
Or freeze the account. Are you offering any assistance? And I'm gonna give you one tidbit. Auto Insurance USA, you know what they did for us? They said, you know what, Mr. Espinoza, we know what you and your family are going through. Don't pay this month. Next month, all we'll do is spread this month, April, we'll spread it into 5 months. If you have an issue paying, why don't you call back next month, and we may have to spread that month around, So it's not that we're hurting on cash, but we don't know the future, guys. We don't know how long this is going to last. We may be stuck at home for 6 months with the kids, and we're going to have to,
Really? No,
hey, we don't know. So you got to look at it like, and I don't think so either, but we may, and that's how I look at it. And you look at it slightly different, but I look at it like that, and you got to do what's in the best interest of your family. That's the bottom line, of your family. So call each one and see what they can do for you. And I'm pretty certain a lot of these, AT&T has a policy. Let me quickly talk about AT&T. I know I'm rambling, but AT&T, I just talked to them. They have a policy here that within the next 60 days, starting March 13th, 60 days outward, May 16th, 13th, they're not going to, if you don't pay them, they're not going to disconnect your service because of what's going on with the coronavirus. They know that a lot of people are struggling. So they're not going to disconnect your service, residential, commercial, phone, internet. And you're not going to be tacked on a late fee if you request a waiver. There's a waiver on their website, a form you complete. Go online and complete the form. But I will call them if I were you. All right, so I'll quit rambling about that. Number 5, Michelle.
All right. Well, this one you could talk more on it. Call your landlord or mortgage company.
So Michelle and I are blessed. Thank God, we're blessed to be landlords and to have the home our primary residence. But we're also landlords. So I'll put my landlord hat on, folks. If you have tenants, or if you're a tenant yourself and you're renting somewhere, you need to call your landlord and communicate what I'm telling you to communicate to AT&T and your auto insurance. You need to tell them, I don't know what the future holds for me. I can pay you the full amount. I can't pay you. Whatever it is that you can do with them, you need to tell them that. Don't wait until your rent is due to call them and say, hey, I can't pay you. That does not instill trust. I promise you. If for example, my tenant did that to me and Michelle, that's not trustworthy. We're losing our relation to trust there. Thank God we have a great tenant, great responsible person that we will work with her. But folks, you need to be transparent with your landlord and tell them what you're going through, and try to pay something, because they have bills, they have a mortgage. The property may have a mortgage on it, so they have to pay that mortgage. So it's not like they're not going to pay that. They have to pay it. But be honest with them. Be straightforward.
All right. Well, let's talk about the refinancing piece. I think with that one, if it would have been any other situation where the economy is doing okay, I am not necessarily inclined to do refinance because, for one, we already got our mortgage at a low rate,
3.5,
and
which is good.
Yeah. So, but because we're in the situation that we're in, plus we also have lower interest rate, it made sense to go ahead and do a refinance, especially since they were doing what they call streamline, which is literally, it's just a call, a piece of paper, and a signature away, and that's it. Yeah. And we were able to forego paying 2 months.
Right.
Now, obviously, the drawback of that is that while we were already in a 30-year mortgage term, we've now increased it again to 30.
Right.
But of course, we've paid down so much of the home already that in essence, we would still continue paying the same amount that we were paying before. Luckily, we're paying less interest. And the idea is to pay it before the 30 years and maybe even pay it before the time it was originally going to be due.
100%.
So it benefited us because we would have extra cash for 2 months that we can, bulk up our emergency fund account.
And let me quickly add to that. I'm feeling the talking juices right now. The interest rates are lower than they have been in the last 10 years, folks. You have to take advantage. I mean, you don't have to. We did, but you don't have to. But I suggest you look into it, you research it. If you're in a mortgage right now and your rate is what it was a few years ago, they're low right now, super low. So at a minimum, you'll lock into a lower interest rate. And I mean, and what we're going to do, like Michelle said, what we're going to do is we're going to continue paying like the old mortgage, the same amount, but we'll have a less rate. So we don't have to pay the old amount, but we will, just because we want to pay it off sooner. So take advantage, folks. We're in a dire situation, but in some aspects we're not. We're in a blessed situation. So
okay, so number 6 is I'll let you talk about that one.
So did we do a podcast on this? No, we haven't done it. Okay. So unemployment, folks, right now the benefits are like this. So each state has their own unemployment system. It's not a federal system, it's a state system. Right now, what the CARES Act does, it allows for self-employed and independent contractors to be eligible for unemployment benefits, whereas in the past you were not. It's that simple. You have to be an employee. Now you are. So if you're eligible and you apply and you're approved, you also get the state plus the federal assistance. The CARES Act is adding $600 on top of your state benefit per week, and the federal one's for 13 weeks, and the state is whatever your state is. So we're looking at anywhere from $800, $900, $1,000 a week, depending on the state, and what the Fed adds on top of that. So take advantage of that. I would suggest everybody apply to that.
That is unemployed right now.
That is unemployed. Obviously, if you're employed, you won't qualify.
Right. So number 7 is cut unnecessary or discretionary expenses. So I'll give you a couple of examples. I had subscriptions to Weenie Bee. I don't know if you've heard of them before, or New York & Company, you might have heard of them. They actually have a subscription similar to, is it Stitch Fix or something like that? And can't remember what the other ones are. But it's just basically where they send you X amount of clothes at a time. You try it on or you wear it, right. And then when you're done with it, you return it. They dry clean it and send you a new set of clothes. So because at work, and with kids and everything, I didn't have time to go shopping. Believe it or not, I'm not a big shopper. It was just so much easier to have the clothes delivered here. I just picked it up on, I picked out my clothes online, and then when I was done with the clothes, send it back. If I liked it, I can purchase it for really, really cheap. So anyhow, I ended up canceling it because since I'm working from home, what do I need? I just need a nice shirt and that's it.
Right. So now she has a subscription is for pajamas now because she's at home all day, every day, folks. So
pajama pants and a nice,
a nice top,
silky shirt.
Right. So.
Anyhow, so things like that, Netflix, Hulu, if you have multiple
stream service
bring it down to one
subscription. Yeah, look, if you have like 5 of them, folks, sorry for making that rude noise, folks, but sometimes I stutter and I tongue twister. If you have like 5, 6, 7 streaming service subscription and you're not using the majority of them, folks, right now is the time to cut all that. Stick to 1 or 2.
And we're actually like really excited that we've been able to, I think this is what catapulted us to cancel these subscriptions, because we had been talking about it back in January to cancel the, the Weenie Bee and pick only one. Why did I have 2? Part of it was because I was trying to test out which one worked out best. Right. And now I'm like, okay, where else can we save? We're excited to see like, okay, let's cut this off. Let's, we don't need this anymore, or, you know what I mean?
Sometimes you see this, like these things happen and they're really like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
They're forcing you to change your habit.
Now, one thing I will tell you though is, and we've talked about this before, So we've been stuck in the house for you more than almost a month or over a month.
Yeah.
Me, I'm on my 3rd week, I think. And I'm like, man, we're going to come out clean out of here because I got to eat, at a restaurant.
Man, incredible.
But it's bad because we've been ordering groceries like nonstop and we've been eating junk food. And today we started to work out again because we're going to go back to work looking twice the size.
Looking like meatballs, man. But the good thing is everybody else is too.
No, but we can't be that now.
And the funny thing is our kids eat, boy. Our kids eat. They can eat the fridge in 1 hour.
Yeah, but they won't gain.
No, they won't gain a pound. We gain it for them.
Yeah.
So that's where, and I'm sure you folks with kids are in the same boat. Them guys eat, and sometimes you join them. So it's like an eating fest. So be careful with that, guys.
Especially we're going back to the milkshake days.
We're doing milkshakes now. Oh my God, we're like packing it on. But you know what? This is a moment in time that we won't get back. I don't foresee us staying with our kids with 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, homeschooling, working from home. It's incredible. You'll
probably
never
once in a lifetime.
We won't get this again. I don't know. And it's a blessing. It's truly a blessing. I don't see it any other way.
All right. So, and then the last one is, take on side hustles so that, you can help. The goal is to cushion your emergency fund. Ultimately, at the end is make sure that you have enough saved for emergencies, that you have, your shelter is covered, your food is covered, your auto is covered, and your utilities. So, if that means also taking on little side hustles, obviously now you're kind of in the situation or in the type of economic downturn that we're in now. They kind of have to be like virtual,
online, remote,
or even how you have like Uber
Eats. So the delivery service is booming right now.
Yes. So what other one? Postmates,
Instacart, Uber Eats. There's so many. I think Grubhub. Who do they use? They use Uber.
All of them, yeah.
But now, even restaurants who didn't do delivery are now doing it. Not only just to stay alive, but they're doing it. If you look at it like this, we talked about this.
Whoever didn't have Uber Eats or Postmates, they do now.
So it's a blessing to them too.
Yeah.
Because now
but it forced them to do it. Because how many times were we like, does so and so deliver? No, they don't. Well, they do now.
They do. So it forced them to be a part of the 21st century, man.
Yeah.
And you and I have been a few days we talk about this, that this whole coronavirus pandemic, how crazy it is and how bad and harmful. At the same time, it's catapulted us.
So what word have I said before? The word of 2020 is shift.
Oh yeah, shift.
Shift.
Right.
Everything has shifted. Things have changed or shifted in such a dynamic and just out of the norm, which will now become the new norm.
Right. Like working from home. There's a lot of professions, service industry professions, where it's not looked. The society has not accepted it. Mm-hmm. They will now, like everyone's doing.
There's no choice at this point,
Right.
Like we were talking in one of our virtual meetings or whatever.
At your work.
Yeah, about what would the productivity level be of our employees. And you can get lost in the shuffle because you're working on your own. It's not like how you were working in the office and you can check up on your staff and ask how's it going. Is there anything that you need?
There's that level of accountability there. Right,
and so like what I do with my team is that I do daily meetings just to ask them, is there anything I can help you with? What do you guys need? Blah 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 blah. Any of that kind of stuff. And then now they're even doing, remember I did where we have our psychosocial department helping out even our own employees with how to cope with the coronavirus, because, of course we have our nurses and our physicians that are out visiting patients, and it's a very scary time for them.
Right. Absolutely.
We're fortunate
for
at the admin
and their
side.
Family.
Right. So they're dealing with all the changes and probably just being traumatized by this.
And I imagine they're working. I mean, they're working a lot of hours. And that's with the whole healthcare profession right now. They're seeing like an impact now, like not like at least a first in our generation. Like the nation is all working at once.
Going back to working from home and everything being virtual, it's been good because, like, going back to the psychosocial piece, usually you will have to like drive to a meeting,
right,
and be there in person and then deal with it. But here it's in the comfort of your computer, the comfort of your phone, and you can have a chat with somebody, like
not only that, there's like a study that says how many hours a year someone wastes in commuting to work.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we spend hours. Now we're saving that time because that's our time. That's the people's time, not the company's time. It's the people's time. We're saving that. We're not wasting it an hour in traffic just to get to work. We're saving another hour to spend with our family, then get online and speak to the people. Real quick, before we sign off here, we did an episode on a podcast on 13 ways how to make extra income from home during this economic downturn. Look, I'm going to add this, that right now you can either be, and this may sound a little insensitive, folks, but I gotta tell you, look, you can sit at home and whether you're employed, say you're unemployed, I would be proactive and either look for online. There's still many things you can do online. I mean, check out our episode, 13 ways you can earn income from home. But don't fall into the consumerism, being the consumer, and all you can do is consume Netflix all day and all that, because nothing productive comes out of that, and you almost fall into like a rabbit hole. So don't fall into that. Do it to get your mind off of what's going on in our life, but also look for ways to be productive. If you always dreamed about writing a book, boy, this is the best time to do it.
Life has given you the opportunity.
Do it, man. Write a book. Me and my wife were doing a podcast. Who would have known? We've been married for over a decade now, and we never talked about it. But one day, a few months ago, we said, let's do it. And look, we're doing a podcast. And we're not professionals, but we really don't care what it sounds like. It's something that we wanted to do, and we're just doing it. And that's how you got to look at it. If there's something you wanted to do out there.
We're not professional podcasters.
I mean, we're not.
What you meant.
I mean, we're not professional podcasters, guys.
But we're professional, though.
I mean, we're professional people. We're not like people you look at Gary Vee and all these people. But folks, everyone had to start somewhere. So if you're afraid of starting because you're afraid of what people are going to say or how you're going to sound, you know what? If that's the mentality you have, you'll never start anything new. So right now is the best time. You want to write a book, start a podcast, a blog, a YouTube channel, whatever it is, do it right now. Do what you can with what you have, where you are out in life. Okay? Just start. You want to give any words of encouragement, or did I just steal like the whole?
No, you got it all.
I think it's important, man. I know the podcast is about finances, but every once in a while we got to tell people that there's good things to come out of what's going on in life right now. And one is, development, personal development. Develop yourself.
Okay.
All right, folks. Thank you for listening in. We really appreciate the few listeners that we have. Stay safe and God bless.
Till next time.